Hi, and welcome to another episode of Well To Do. I am Andi Lew, and every week, every episode, we unpack another fantastic conversation around something that can make you more well. You need to be abundant in wellness and in love, and I'm here to find all of the latest research and the latest things to help you do just that. And on today's episode, not only are we sponsored by Aries to help you harmonize the EMF, I do have a gift for our guest as well, but we have something else that can help your body on a cellular level really recharge and age less. Now, Catherine Arnston is with me today. She's come all the way from Florida, but originally from Canada. She has a PhD and is the CEO of Energy Bits. Now, Energy Bits, you're going to be absolutely blown away when you realize where the energy comes from. Catherine, welcome to Well To Do.
Well, so glad to be here. Yes, I just flew in from Miami this morning, so I'm going to try to spill all of my knowledge that took me 15 years to accumulate in 30 minutes.
Well, we totally needed it though, because, and we've been waiting to get you on because we only tape in real life. So here you are, you made the special trip.
Yes.
Because your product has algae, or some people call it algae, but we're calling it algae.
Right.
Which was around billions of years before we were even here.
Yes, algae is the first life on Earth, and it's all documented in science. So it's definitely been here a lot longer than we have. And people in Asia take it every day. By the way, it's a food. It's not a supplement. And we sell them in tiny tablets that we call bits because they're bits of food.
Yeah, tiny little
you
bit of food. You
can swallow them or chew them, but the nutritional value is uncomparable. Even NASA says it has 1,000 times more nutrition than any other fruit or vegetable. And the United Nations has endorsed spirulina algae as the answer to world hunger because it has the highest protein in the world, 3 times the amount of protein as steak. So with all these international organizations and Asians using it, and there's 100,000 studies documenting all of the health benefits of spirulina and chlorella algae. My mission is to help people understand what these products can do for your body, prevent you from aging, from chronic disease, or help you correct whatever condition you have.
Right.
And it does it naturally from food.
And it's just amazing because really, I'm not even exaggerating when I say billions. It was 4 billion years ago that it was documented as found on the Earth.
Yes.
It's this living, breathing, beautiful organism. We don't know how it got here, but yet we need it ever so, especially now.
Right.
And yet, who knew that it's not just a growth like a fungal thing? It's actually something that we should and do consume now, as you say, because the benefits of it is it's going straight to the cell.
Right.
Now, if your cell's not well, that's where I guess chronic disease starts to come in, and we age more. And the benefit of this is that, let's deep dive into the mitochondria.
Well, it's not even just the cell. It's something called the mitochondria.
I was going to say, let's deep dive into
which are in the cell.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know what mitochondria are, they're known as the powerhouse of the cell. They generate all cellular energy that keeps you alive. And when I talk about energy, it's not just energy to run to the grocery store or do a great workout. It's your neurotransmitters, your lymphatic system, your heartbeat, your lungs, your everything requires cellular energy. And it's all made by these things called mitochondria.
Or ATP, people are referring.
Or ATP. So, and so the trouble is, the way that the energy is created, there's something called a free radical that's a byproduct of it. It's a natural byproduct. There's nothing you can do about it. And the mitochondria have their own DNA, which are located exactly where the ATP is produced, which is also where the free radicals are produced. So they are exposed to free radicals. Now, normally your body has a nutrient that's called, it's a long word, superoxide dismutase, also known as SOD. And this particular nutrient, it's an antioxidant, neutralizes the free radicals so they don't harm the mitochondria, because when they turn the free radicals into oxygen and water. And this goes on all the time, and you don't even know it's going on all the time, from the moment you're born until about 40. And then when you hit 40, and certainly 50, your body slows down and then stops making this particular antioxidant, just like it slows down other things like melatonin, and for women, estrogen. Because as we hit a certain age, for women, we get into perimenopause and menopause, and it's a natural part of our biology. But the loss of this particular antioxidant, which is called superoxide dismutase, is so traumatic to the mitochondria because they are no longer protected from the free radicals.
Yeah.
And so they get damaged. And what does that do? It either kills them or causes them to mutate. So when you have fewer mitochondria, that means you have less cellular energy. In a building, if you have a power outage in the building and the lights go out, you can't do any work.
Yeah.
Well, think of the mitochondria. They start to die after the age of 40 because they don't have this nutrient any longer protecting them. It's like having a power outage.
Yeah, your cells are literally dying.
Your lights literally
Yeah.
go out
Yeah.
in your building and in your home,
Yeah.
in your body. And the particular nutrient that we're talking about, this SOD, is found in the highest concentration in spirulina algae and to a lesser degree in chlorella.
So we're talking spirulina, we're talking chlorophyll. People know those foods or nutrients. And this is just a whole nother level because it's completely non-GMO. It's USDA organic. The quality is so supreme. Show us one as well.
And they're so tiny. They're about the size of a baby aspirin. So I eat them all day long. Most people do swallow the spirulina. This one's the chlorella. But there is there's 40 vitamins and minerals, highest chlorophyll in the world, highest protein in the world, highest superoxide dismutase in the world. And each one of these tablets has the same nutrition as an entire plate of vegetables.
Now, you keep saying, though, more protein than steak, but we're not going to eat a whole container of this to get the same protein.
Well, if you ate 30, you would have the equivalent of 5 grams of protein, which doesn't sound like a lot. But when you eat animal protein, let's say you had 50 grams of chicken, it's about the size of your fist. It can take your body 3 days to break the protein down into amino acids so it can be absorbed. And most people have compromised digestion now. So very often those 50 grams of protein turns into 5 grams of aminos. When you have 5 grams of protein with algae, you get 5 grams of aminos. So it's like having 50 grams of animal protein.
And it's more bioavailable.
It's bioavailable.
Yeah.
And spirulina is actually a bacteria. It doesn't even have a cellulose wall. So it gets absorbed by your body instantly. And so all the protein, all the B vitamins, all the superoxide dismutase goes straight into the cell it almost bypasses digestion because it's absorbed so quickly. But each one of these tablets has the same nutrition as an entire plate of vegetables. So while I'm sitting here talking to you,
nutrition.
I just had a plate of vegetables.
Exactly.
So it's not just the nutrition and the missing nutrients that we have that happen after the age of 40, which causes us to age and get chronic disease.
It's what the nutrition can do.
It's effortless.
Yeah.
You don't have to go out to get a drip. I mean, drips are great. IV drips are great. There's a lot of great biohacks, cold plunges.
Show us your tongue, Catherine. Green tongue lizard.
Yeah. Kids love them because it turns their tongues green. But all of those other biohacks are terrific. And this will up-level any other biohack that you're doing. But on its own, it is literally the best biohack. It is the best anti-aging, I know nobody says that anymore, longevity.
Well, we don't want to not age, right? So let's actually talk about that. We just want our cells to not die off.
Right.
And we want to fuel the body because the oxidative stress could come from our environment as well, not just from alcohol.
From EMFs, from stress, from glyphosate, pesticides.
Exactly.
There's so many toxins. So the two algae are quite different though. So I might want to,
yes,
I'm just going to give you a bit of an overview.
And before we do, because you've got others in the range as well, but you were saying in your press release something about this great nutrient collapse. Like, I just loved the way that was put because of our environment, because of all the toxicity that's going on. Our, oceans aren't the same. Everything's not the same anymore. So you've had to develop.
The soils are so overcropped because they do what's called monocropping. So they put the same crop in the soil year after year after year, and it pulls all the minerals out of the soils.
Yeah.
So the plants don't have the same minerals and nutrients that they had 50 years ago. So you're getting fiber and calories, but you're not getting nutrition. And then, of course, everybody's eating processed foods, which of course have no nutrition. So
this is difficult for the fitness world, not my audience who are very well educated wellness nuts, but the fitness world was so used to counting, the macros, the proteins, fats and carbohydrates. They didn't care about the quality of nutrition and the micronutrition. Right. This is where we're talking real, cellular repair and the slowing of aging, because you don't have to age the way we've been taught.
We're all going to age, but you don't have to decline. And I'm about to turn 70.
No.
Yes, I'm in my 70th year.
Okay,
So,
I did not know that.
yeah,
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So I have no medications. I have no diseases.
And look how proud
I
you are.
take no supplements
Yeah.
other than algae. I don't consider this a supplement. It's food. I tell people this is my own hair. There's no
That's
extension.
fantastic.
It's my own teeth. I don't do Botox. Everything moves.
Yes, so do I.
I sleep well. I poop well. And I attribute a large amount of my health to taking this
And you
every
have so
single
much
day,
energy.
every single day for 15 years. So I want to be a good role model for people
Yeah.
to say, look we're all aging, but I'm certainly not declining, and there is no reason why you can't be the same. But
So I'm 52.
wow.
But
yeah.
it's very this energy here, I'm 70, I'm 52. It's very rare for women to be proud of their age
yeah.
and say, I don't ascribe to Botox.
Yes.
You
Well, and I don't feel, and this is again for women in particular, but also for men, but the society tells us there's an expiry date on our forehead that once you hit 50, like it's, downhill, you might as well put your slippers on and your jammies and not even go out anymore. I got my PhD when I was 68.
Wow.
So listen, but you have to have energy to engage with life. You have to have health to engage with life. And these two algae will make sure that you have both of those.
So we were going to talk about the chlorella, let's do chlorella first. I must say, when I was in my early 20s, I had been diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome. And somebody back then said take chlorella and spirulina, and I swear to you, within 2 weeks it was gone, never came back.
It's absolutely incredible. So chlorella is a wellness algae. It's a green algae, which is why, and I designed all the packaging, I put it in a green package. And the way it builds your immune system, and it's a detoxing algae. It has a hard cell wall that attaches to toxins, lead, mercury, radiation, aluminum, glyphosate, pesticide, alcohol, lactic acid, and it pulls them out. So that's number one. It chelates all the toxins in your body. Number two.
Wait, let's talk about why chelation is so important, because a lot of people don't realize. They're like, oh, what else can I have? What nutrition can I have? What food can I have? But unless you actually remove in chelation, there's no point in putting in.
Well, it's a really great point. And the way I describe it is, I've lived in Boston for a long time, and in the winters, people are very, very protective of their parking spot. But if someone is in your parking spot, you're out of luck. You can't get in there. When you have toxins, your cells have these things called cell receptors that allow nutrients in, allow enzymes, allow antioxidants, allow proteins in. But if the toxin is sitting on top of the cell receptor, it's like someone stealing your parking spot.
Yeah.
You can put all this great nutrition in, but it can't get into the cell if the toxins are blocking the way.
Yeah.
And so we have to get rid of, so that's number one. Also, the toxins mess up the communication between the cells. And so if they can't communicate properly, this is when those cells can get sick. They can become what's called a rogue cell, and they become acidic.
And then they become cancerous.
Cancer cannot exist in cells that are alkaline. Also, algae is the most alkaline food in the world, so this helps your
Say this again. They become acidic.
They become acidic.
It becomes a cancerous cell, and
Yes.
cancer can't live in an alkaline environment.
Correct. And also cancer cells can't kill themselves. When you have a cell that's healthy, but it knows that maybe it's time to go, it literally just kills itself, which is a good thing. But cancer cells can't do that. And so that's why cancer grows so quickly. So the key to keeping your cells healthy is keep the toxins out, keep the cells alkaline, and keep the cellular energy creation through the ATPs, through something called the electron transport chain, working properly. And algae has the nutrients that make that work as well.
Wow.
So chlorella is a detoxing algae, cleansing algae. It has the highest chlorophyll in the world. Chlorella is called chlorophyll because of the chlorophyll. It is 500 times more chlorophyll than even arugula, or 25 times more than liquid chlorophyll. There's nothing in the world with more chlorophyll. And chlorophyll is the same chemical composition as your hemoglobin, which is your red blood cells.
Right.
And it kills bacteria. So chlorella is pulling out the toxins, killing the bacteria, building your blood. It builds your immune system and your gut, because it has the highest glutathione in the world. It has something called, and it stimulates what's called peristalsis, which is a fancy word for saying bowel movements. You have to get rid of what I call the junk in your trunk, because you've got to get rid of all the toxins that your body doesn't want, and that's what's sitting in your colon. And if you don't get rid of them, your blood circulates around and picks up the toxins and sends them back back out.
Toxic soup.
It's like having a garbage truck parked in front of your house permanently.
Yeah, wow.
So chlorella, so your body goes through a detox repair cycle when you're sleeping.
Which is crucial for those who are addicted to like the colonic irrigations and all that. This is where the body gets to do it internally on its own.
Right.
Without having to remove any good or, bacteria that may have happened in that colonic process. So imagine pushing and pulling everything through to have a really healthy stool.
Yes.
And
I know.
And no, but this is
we're talking poop here.
No, and like seriously, we all know everyone looks at their poop to see how it's going down there before you flush it, right?
Yeah.
That's because we actually want to know how well we are, right?
It's a great indication.
It really is, and we do it even when we're changing babies' nappies and things like that. There's a conversation around it.
Yeah.
But what this is doing is allowing that waste to properly pull, repair, chelate.
Yes.
And make room for the nutrients to come in and
kill
flourish.
bacteria at the same time.
Yeah.
And so it's very, very cleansing. So when you're sleeping, your body, especially if you have chlorella in your system, and you 10 tablets before bed will give you the chlorophyll and the immune building. For detox, you do need more, like 20 or 30. But they taste delicious. I eat them.
I was going to ask you.
I put sea salt on them, or eat them with pistachio nuts, so they can become a great bedtime snack. And once you start taking them, honestly, you will never want to stop because you feel so clean. It's like giving your body a shower from the inside.
Love that.
So you will. And it replaces so many other, you will never have to eat another vegetable again if you don't like vegetables, because this has fiber like vegetables, this has chlorophyll like vegetables, phytonutrients like vegetables, and it stimulates bowel movements like vegetables. Boom. So men love the fact, and kids do too, and moms, you never have to worry about your kids not eating vegetables if you give them spirulina and chlorella.
I'm not going to deter people from eating real food and vegetables.
No, I know.
Because we also want, I guess the water content that comes from eating vegetables and the life force and all of that stuff. But anyway, but what you're saying is it's so important for people who have been, I guess, turned off from having to eat vegetables or they find it time consuming or whatever. That's a whole other issue. But if you're in that situation, you're at least getting the nutrition.
Or if you're traveling or you're at work and you just can't get to the store. So chlorella is a wellness algae, a recovery algae, which is why we called ours recovery bits.
And on that note, you can travel with it because inside the canister you have these
cute little tins. I know.
So you take it out of the packet and you can either have the packet at home, but then you can take the tin in your handbag, right?
And we also have these little handy little pouches. Oh, I guess they're upside down. There's 30 tablets.
You've really thought about how to carry it all, haven't you?
So you just toss those into your handbag, your gym bag, your travel bag. I go everywhere with them.
So now we've detoxed with the chlorella. Yes. And now tell me about spirulina.
So it's a blue-green algae, and the reason why it's called a blue-green algae because it has two pigments. It has the chlorophyll, like the chlorella, but it has another pigment which is blue called phycocyanin, which is spelled with a P-H-Y, P-H-Y-C-O-C-I-N-N.
Phycocyanin.
And a lot of people
have
heard about methylene blue, but this is way better than methylene blue for you. Anyway, spirulina is known for giving you energy, which is why we called ours energy bits. And the way it gives you energy is a number of reasons. It has the highest concentration of B vitamins. B vitamins convert the protein into energy, and then it also stimulates this cellular energy at the mitochondria. The blue pigment in particular speeds up the electrons that move along this thing called electron transport chain that generate energy for you. So when do we want energy? Oh, and it also satisfies hunger because it has very high protein and it has very high essential fatty acids.
I was going to say, it must be so satiating.
It's unbelievable.
We don't normally get this kind of nutrition, micronutrition from food because it's not farmed the same way anymore.
Exactly. So so you're tired and hungry and you want focus in the morning, the afternoon, before a workout. Everyone has a slump at 2 o'clock. So you could take a handful of these, 10, 20, 30. We have NHL players that take 75 spirulina before a hockey game to give them energy on the ice.
Wow.
And they take 75 chlorella after the game to pull all the lactic acid out of their muscles.
Wow.
You don't have to take 75. I'm just telling you that you could take as many as you want because it's food.
And the elite do not mind whatsoever, the elite athletes.
Well, they want performance.
Yeah,
they're actually going. So even if you took 10, and there's so much, 40 vitamins and minerals in these things. And when you take algae, because it's food and because it comes from Mother Nature, I can't take credit for algae. That's Mother Nature. But I will take credit for growing it so carefully, and we preserve all the nutrients. So you get the maximum value from everything. So you can eliminate a multivitamin, a fish oil, a collagen powder, a CoQ10, a biotin. You can get rid of about 5 other multivitamins or supplements when you take algae. So
and that's because your body's making it what it needs.
It's getting what it needs. I say taking algae is like listening to an orchestra. In an orchestra, you have all these different instruments, and they all work together to harmonize and make the sound even more beautiful and richer, thanks to the conductor. Now, when you take a supplement, it's like listening to a soloist. You don't get the harmonies. You don't get the
way
robust,
it works together.
It's never the same. So you're always better with food, and because spirulina is absorbed so quickly in a food, you get maximum value from it.
Look, I've always said, in my studies in nutrition, and I actually studied superfoods because I was obsessed with, aging less. But I think it was really funny when they said, you could eat the almond, or you could have the almond oil, or you could just eat the whole almond, because the way in which it was designed as a food, a whole food, you're getting magnesium, you're getting protein, you're getting the oil, and it all works in concert together with each other.
So I like that in concert with the orchestra.
Yeah.
I see what you did.
That's what I did. So it's the same thing. And I love that pun, because literally it's working together.
Absolutely.
And so what I wanted to know is, people are probably curious now, like, why are you so passionate about this one thing? You're like a geek on this one thing.
I know.
And I think it was because, was it your sister that had breast cancer?
Yes, I started, I had a business career, I have an MBA, and then 17 years ago, my younger sister was diagnosed with breast cancer. She completely healed. This is up in Canada. But her oncologist told her it was important for her to change her diet to an alkaline diet because it would help with her healing. And she didn't tell her what it was or why it was good for her, so she called me just because I'm her big sister and I love her. And I had no idea about an alkaline diet. It turned out to be a plant-based diet because of the chlorophyll and the phytonutrients that build your immune system. And then I found out again that cancer, there's a German scientist by the name of Otto Warburg who won a Nobel Prize in the 30s for discovering cancer cannot exist in cells that are alkaline.
Right.
So an oncologist is a cancer specialist. So I assume her oncologist knew about this, and that's why she wanted her to have the alkaline diet. So anyways, I found her all these foods, including algae. She did go through chemo. She did change her diet. She's still alive and well, and we celebrate every year together. I just saw her 3 weeks ago in New York, had a girls' trip. So that's what got me on this journey, because I thought, if I can help my sister, maybe I could help a few more people.
Right.
And then I just kept going. I went and got a health coaching certificate, and then I taught nutrition, but I found people were having a hard time eating vegetables.
Yeah.
So I thought, I got to find a way that gives them the nutrition of vegetables without any of the work.
Interesting.
Without any, and vegetables go bad quickly. This lasts 3 years. If you don't like the flavor, you just swallow them. There's no flavor whatsoever. Kids love them, pets love them, children love them, adults love them. They're good for everybody. And I know I talked about chlorella being gut food. Spirulina is brain food.
Right.
And right now there's a lot of focus, rightfully so, on brain health, mental health. All brain issues, problems are due to damaged mitochondria, because your brain has the most mitochondria, 2 million mitochondria per cell, per neurotransmitter. 2 million. Just think about that. So when you start helping your mitochondria heal, because you've got that nutrient found in spirulina that is going to protect them, the first lights that go back on are in your brain.
So this is just fascinating. Did you have this story shared when you went on to Shark Tank?
I didn't know this much detail. I know I was on Shark Tank, I think it was almost 8 years ago. I didn't know this much detail because I've now spent 15 years researching it. But they just laughed at me. They said, no one's going to eat those things. They taste terrible.
Is that what they said?
Yeah, and they just made fun of me and said, when are you going to give up? And I said, I'm never going to give up.
Wow.
Because I really truly feel that this is my path. This is clearly my passion. But somehow the universe tapped me on the shoulder and said, you're gonna do this, because we have a crisis. We have a nutritional crisis, we have a health crisis, we have an environmental crisis. And I know I sound maybe a little over the top, but algae solves all of them. And it's scientifically backed, internationally endorsed. The only problem is people don't really understand what it is or the benefits that it offers. So that's what I enjoy doing.
I love the way in all of your marketing material, or I call it education.
Yes, we're very focused on education.
Exactly. Love is a very high vibrational frequency word, and that's what's used on every single page.
Yeah.
So you're talking about love is proven, so is algae. Love gives you life, so does algae. Love is sustainable, so is algae. So I always go, you know what? We are love.
Yes.
We are all connected.
Yes.
And isn't this amazing that when we start to view what this living thing is, it is really connected to us and it's meant for us, right?
Absolutely. And in fact, spirulina is what's called a cyanobacteria, and it was that's the one that was the first life on Earth. So I now refer to spirulina as spiritualina.
Oh, I
because
love
there's
this.
something spiritual about being the first life on Earth.
Yes.
And by the way, and we don't have time to talk about it today,
We do.
it's scientifically proven
Yeah.
that the cyanobacteria, which was the first life on Earth,
Yeah.
became our mitochondria.
Oh, this is deep. This is deep.
It was discovered by an MIT professor in the 60s.
Yeah.
Her name was Dr. Margolis.
Yeah.
And she was ridiculed for 10 years by her peers, and then they all realized she was correct. And I can walk you through the science of how that all happened. But how fascinating is that the thing that generates all of the energy, all of the life force in our bodies are mitochondria, and they came from spirulina. They came from spirulina, and spirulina gives us all the energy. It is very high vibrational food.
That's what I'm saying.
And I think it's a miracle food, and I just want people to start enjoying it because it's here for us.
Yeah.
But no one's explained it to anybody.
As well as you can.
Well, and I also say, well, we didn't know about chia or matcha or kiwa or bone broth, and those were foods that have been used by indigenous peoples in other countries for centuries.
Yeah.
Same with algae. So it just needed to be understood better here in the United States, and I do plan to grow it here. 99% of algae is grown in Asia, so that's India, China. We grow ours in Taiwan, which is the gold standard. But Florida has the same climate as Taiwan. So my long-term plan is to build very large algae farms in Florida.
Well, that's probably the healthiest place to grow it in America because there's no cloud seeding and stuff going on over there. I mean, you guys are what, the only state now in the whole of the country?
Isn't that funny? Because I've been reading about all the chemtrails, but I thought, I don't think they have them in Florida.
No, your governor was like, no, we're not doing this here. You can do it all the way across, the rest of America, but not here. So if you did do it, that'd be great for the country. You could export from here.
Yes, well, it would be to feed America because we have so many issues going on with our health, and my goal is to try to help people get back what they've lost or protect what they have.
Right.
And the problems are starting earlier and earlier. It used to be people wouldn't get dementia until they were in their 70s, and now it's the 60s and the 50s even.
Yeah.
And that's a very big deal.
Well,
cancer hasn't slowed down, heart disease hasn't slowed down, and all the science shows that the nutrients found in these two algae are proven to prevent Alzheimer's, heart disease, cancer, inflammation. It's not conjecture, it's proven, but the information just has not made its way out to the public.
I think, Catherine, you have found the food that we need in this very toxic world that has continue to become toxic, whether it's, in the chemicals in our foods, in the environment that we talked about, and even just the way in which the brain is, I guess, aging because of the EMFs, the phone use, the posture, the sedentary life, all of the things. So you've kind of, like a true entrepreneur, gone, I found this one food that can help with all of this cognitive decline, etc. Well, you actually have a gift, as in a discount code for all of my listeners and viewers. What is that?
Well, come to our website, energybits.com, ENERGYBITS, and the code is well-to-do, all one word. And you'll get 20% off anything. We have large bags, small bags, canisters, the fun canisters, boxes of single servings. Remember, the blue one is for energy and for brain health and for hunger. Anyone who's on a GLP-1, please take this because there's so much protein.
Instead.
This will protect your muscles from muscle wasting.
Oh, as well.
This is very, very important for, this could be lunch right here, 1 calorie per tablet, by the way. So it's very efficient nutrition. And then chlorella is the detox wellness algae. It helps you sleep. It has high tryptophan, helps you with your bowel movements. It's cleansing, pulls out toxins, alcohol. So think of spirulina as your AM algae because you want to get energy and get out the door, and chlorella as your PM algae because when you're sleeping, that's when you get the cleanup crew in there doing all the good stuff to keep you well.
Look at how much vitality this woman has. Catherine Arnston, you really surprised me today. I really didn't know that you were going to say you're in your 70s. Absolutely incredible. Obviously, you're a massive fan. You can see that it's working, you guys. There's no excuse not to get it. I'm definitely a massive advocate now, as you can see. I understand.
You'll age backwards.
Yeah, let's go, because I understand how this works within the body, and hopefully now you do too. So if you loved this episode, please share it with all of your friends if you want them to age well as well. Thank you so much for listening to Well To Do.